Alright, this one is unexpected. Today we got a smart speaker, and I did not think that a smart speaker would come from this brand, Prolink. Interesting. Prolink is a Singaporean company that started in 1991. They initially started with uninterruptible power supplies and data communication gadgets like routers and switches. But recently, they've just joined the smart home bandwagon. And I have to see what they have to offer. So they sent me a couple of smart home devices that I'm really excited to review. But for now, we're gonna start with a smart home speaker. Let's talk about it. So this is the Prolink Sonority II. Prolink's take on a smart home speaker. If you're not familiar with a smart home speaker, it's basically your speaker with an additional functionality of home assistants like Siri, Google, and Amazon Alexa. Prolink went with Amazon Alexa. I already have an Echo Dot in this room, but I figured this will sit nicely in the living room and this would allow me to control smart home devices wherever I am in my house. So at 4,400 pesos, you get the Bluetooth speaker that has Wi-Fi and an AI home assistant integration. But is that worth your money? Let's find out. Inside the box, you get the usual. You get the cable and the adapter, which is a European socket and the micro USB cable. You get the manuals and the speaker itself. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I like how much information is in the box. Let's talk about the build quality. The build quality is okay. While it does not feel premium, it's not cheap as well. It's a bit light for its size. I was expecting this to be a bit heavier, but that's okay. Most of the body is the speaker itself. It's made out of a weaved cloth material like most speakers do. And there are no metal parts in this, it's mostly plastic. The buttons at the top of the device feels nice. It has a really good tactile feel to it. The ring at the top of the speaker acts as a volume knob, which I appreciate. I can imagine placing this beside me and using it with the physical buttons just as well. This also has an LED ring which functions similar to other Alexa devices, indicating mute, listening, and volume levels. The speaker comes with rubber feet which helps prevent the speaker from being accidentally moved. Cable is a bit short in my opinion. I would have wanted it to be a bit longer to allow for better cable management. But since the speaker has a battery, you can actually use it while it's unplugged, which is one of the cooler features of the speaker. But overall, the build quality is okay for the price. Setting up the device is pretty straightforward. First, you need to download the app. There's a QR code in the box or the manual which you can use to point you to the application. Once it's downloaded, you just have to follow the prompts. You'll need to have an Amazon account to be able to use Amazon Alexa and its features. Then you're all set. You can now start using the app and Alexa. Okay, so now let's talk about the features and application. Let's start with the physical buttons. This one has a total of 6 buttons and 1 dial. The 4 buttons at the top function as your media controls. The dial is used as a volume rocker and it has 10 levels. The 2 buttons at the back is for the power and mode, which lets you choose between Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. You also have an aux out which lets you connect this to an external speaker if you prefer that. If you have a Spotify premium account, you can talk to Alexa and ask her to play your favorite playlists, your liked music, and so much more. But let's talk about how you would actually use it. Obviously, you have your physical buttons so you can use it that way, but you also have the Prolink app. Using the speaker via the app allows you to connect several music streaming platforms. You have TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and so many more. I personally prefer Spotify because I already have a premium account with them. If you have 2 of these speakers, you can actually enable multi-room listening, which is nice. Apart from that, you can also control the speaker through the Spotify app, both for the PC and the mobile app version. And lastly, you have Amazon Alexa integration. This means that you have access to all the Alexa skills and features. Alexa, what's the weather like in Mandaluyong?
Right now in Mandaluyong, Philippines, it's 81 degrees Fahrenheit with intermittent clouds. Today's forecast has some sun and thunderstorms, with a high of 89 degrees and a low of 81 degrees.
Okay, so now let's talk about one of the most important aspects of a speaker: how it sounds. The speakers on this are rated for 10 watts, which to be honest seems a bit low. But just for comparison, my first generation Echo Dot is 7 watts. And that is so much smaller. But to my surprise, this was actually really loud. It was able to fill up my room with music just fine. Here's a sample. And the sound quality is okay. The mids are clear and the bass has a well-rounded sound. But once you reach the volumes above 8, the sound tends to get a little bit garbled, which I would not advise. Overall, the sound is okay. It's not spectacular, but definitely good enough for the price. If you were looking for a smart speaker and you don't have one yet, this is definitely a good option for you. And since this also functions as a portable Bluetooth speaker, you can definitely buy this for that reason and have all the additional smart home functions. And that's the end of the video. If you want to know more about speakers, click this video right here. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.